The Zone Coverage Podcast Network.
The Andy, Luke, and Arif football machine.
Autobots, transform! I like this kind of party!
Straight cash, homie.
Starts now.
Welcome back to Thunderdome for another Zone Coverage Football Machine, Zone Coverage Podcast Network, zonecoverage.com. I'm your national analyst, Andy Carlson, at Andy Carlson Show on the Twitter machine, and I have equity, more equity than Arif, become an honorary Croatian.
Did he get citizenship? Are they giving that out?
They should, given how much I'm promoting the fine country of Croatia.
Is it true? How big is it? They said it's like the 24th largest state if it was a state in the U.S.
Yeah, and it's got like the 11th longest coastline or something crazy like that.
Yeah, what's the country that they landlock in just by being dicks and just taking up the entire coast?
I think it's Serbia. Technically, Serbia does have a port of access. It's it's one city. And
no, it's Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yeah. They do have one port of access. It's one city.
I see.
They don't get anything on either side of the city.
Yeah.
But they do get that port of access.
Yeah, a place called Neum, N-E-U-M.
Arif found this out when he tweeted that he liked Croatia. And they're like, Bosnia's like, come on, Arif, we'll let you get in. You have a small window, however.
What do you think Croatia's main export is?
Croatians?
Besides old Eastern Bloc ideas. We had them. Yeah.
I don't know.
But you were also heavy on... let's not talk about football. But join me is Arif Hassan, NFL, not Arif Hassan. There should be Arif Hassan FIFA or EPL.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
Who's your EPL team?
Liverpool.
Are they bad?
You and Giles, right?
Yeah. Liverpool is like consistently like disappointing.
Yeah. Consistently disappointing. Speaking of Tom. Oh.
Hi,
Tom.
Hey.
At T-Shire3. How was Summer League?
I did not get in. I went to Vegas for 2 days, partied pretty hard, and then
they kicked you out.
They booted me out.
Now, the link, since they redid it, I heard it's really nice. Also,
yes,
center strip, you can't beat it.
Yeah, so I stayed at the Quad 5 years ago, and it changed. So that is the link now.
Yep.
It has changed dramatically, and that is my favorite spot in Vegas because you don't have to cross the road, and it's, like the Cosmo's sweet, right? We ended up there one night, and Caesar's Palace is immaculate, but there in the promenade, as they call it, you have kind of everything you want, and you don't really have to go that far, and you're in the shade the whole time, which is sweet.
It's weird that Caesar's Palace and Bellagio are now old.
Yeah, although I went to LA first on a family trip, and we met up with a guy who just had his bachelor party at the Bellagio, and he said, still great. Cosmo's fun, very, very, very expensive. It was like $60 for 4 drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
That was a bad decision. That was not my decision. That was not Dane's decision. It was a couple of people we were with who, what were nameless?
Wait, so that's $16 a drink plus tip. So, I mean,
that was with my tip. So it was about, $13, $15.
That better come with they can shave gold.
Right.
Right.
They didn't have anything worse than Crown. So it was like 2 crowns and then.
Give me the rail.
And literally they're like, do you want Crown or I forget what the other option was. But Vegas is a good time. I'm shocked Dane can handle being there for like 2 weeks as he will be for Summer League. But
do you notice that the Bellagio just smells different?
I don't think I went into the Bellagio.
Yeah.
Does it?
It has a certain smell to it. Like it's a nice, like sandalwood, very subtle musk.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a good smell. Where it's like it reminds you. You know how smells you associate with locations, both good and bad.
Sure.
I think they definitely do that. Like the conspiracy theory of the pumping in pure oxygen. I don't buy that one. I buy the smell one though.
I think they do because I went from like really tired that night because I'm an idiot, as you guys know, and I've shown up to a ski thing 3 days early. I showed up to a Seattle to see a friend without really telling him. I told him earlier that month, I'm like, at the end of the month I'll be there, but never gave him a direct date. So I just like showed up in Seattle and was like, hey, Can we hang out? And so I showed up to Vegas a day early. And after being there essentially for a full day and then going to Summerlin, which is about 25 minutes.
Time is all relative in Vegas. It's like that. It's like that big planet in Interstellar.
You also realize, like, so I just dropped off my bag at the Link and I couldn't get in that night. So it was 4th of July. So I was like, I'm not going to get a room when it's really expensive. So I just sat there for like 3 hours and just kind of like read stuff on my iPad and then watched a few baseball games at the sports book. And I realized, like, it's a weird place where, like, I'm not the weirdest person there, as the person who showed up a day early is waiting for my friend to come back from middle of nowhere, Nevada, 2 hours out. And then I actually went to the suburbs for the show, and I heard the fireworks show in Summerlin was actually better than the one in Vegas, which I was floored by. It was really good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they said they didn't, and I'm like, how does Vegas not do the 4th of July well?
Yeah.
Like, you think they do everything spectacularly, right? And then the second night, Dan and I went out. You can play beer pong at O'Shea's, which is great. Like, just $23 for a pitcher.
Gross.
What now?
Still gross. I thought they tore down O'Shea's.
O'Shea's is all. And I think what they did, because it's connected to the Link, is they probably just redid it and kept the same name. Because it was nice when we were there, or whatever, relatively nice.
Yeah.
Dane promptly blew through $100 in like 10 minutes and just sat there because he wanted to get his free drink. Yeah. And I'm like, Dane, this is costing you way more money than just to go to the bar. And then went to the Cosmopolitan and literally just made all his money back. Yeah. Like he, without blinking.
Playing what?
Blackjack. All blackjack. Yeah.
You know, it's a great game. Pai Gow.
What is it?
Well, it's you get 7 cards and you make a 5-card poker hand and a 2-card hand.
Oh, I think I've heard of this. Yeah,
it's a lot of pushing. You get a lot of free drinks out of it. Like you have to beat the dealer on both hands to win, and vice versa. Yeah.
Oh, okay. But so there's a lot of pushing. Okay.
Yeah, but that's not for Vegas. That's perfect because the issue I told Dane this is not that he lost the money; it's that he lost the money that fast.
Yeah.
Because you can just go to the other one he literally couldn't lose, right? Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of the way it was. But or he probably is there sitting counting cards with the MIT guys or whatever. But for us normal people,
all right. So my first trip to Vegas, I went there with a bunch of college friends. It was a great time. We went downtown, and downtown,
like old Vegas, or
downtown's fun. Like they redid it. It's pretty family friendly. But I think we're at the Four Queens, and they had a game called Blackjack Switch or something to that effect. Huh. And we all got hammered. By the way, watermelon Grey Goose, amazing.
Really?
Yeah. Huh. Especially when it's hot out. Awesome.
That is a product, not like,
No, watermelon juice and Grey Goose.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Ted Wynn. Like he's probably into that too. So we're sitting down at this blackjack table and we just annihilated it. Like we're all turning like $40-$100 into like $500-$600.
That's essentially Dane didn't go that high, but close.
And then so we left, and then I was looking up later, like they pulled Blackjack Switch because like the odds numbers were off from the original calculations.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was actually a player advantage game.
Oops.
Yeah.
So the only thing I play there probably is blackjack, although I don't know the nuances, like the kind of when to split. There you can take insurance right on certain hands and stuff. I don't know that stuff as well. Or craps, which I just find fantastically fun. Like even if I lost money, I'd be like, I think this is a fun game.
Oh yeah.
The problem is the only table we could get on was early, and I didn't want to like play with me and 2 people. Yep. You want to be there with tons of people there.
Also, big key when you're getting free drinks, get bottled beer. Because if you get a mixed drink, they're very stingy.
Yeah, so I got that impression because my friend got one, and I was like, I think this is mostly cranberry juice, not a lot of vodka. Yeah. And Dane definitely was getting bottled beer.
Yeah. That's how they roll. We're recording yet? Nah, just kidding.
Can we just do an hour in Vegas? Like, how do you think that would rate at this time? I know you can't do it during the season, but like,
no, it'd be great.
Simmons basically went out there for Summer League and did 30 minutes of an hour and a half podcast on Vegas.
Because then it's a write-off.
Right.
Follow Zone Coverage on Twitter, Zone Coverage MN. Subscribe, rate, review us on the iTunes as well. So diving into some actual football news. So World Cup. You were really close because you were heavy on Belgium, right?
I was heavy on Belgium, and my 2... So I had a dark horse, which is Belgium, kind of a mid-long shot, which was Croatia, and then a super long shot, Peru. So obviously I didn't see anything out of Peru, but I'm super happy with the way I picked things.
Who did Croatia beat? Who did they beat to get into the game they lost? So to get into the Final Four?
Croatia's in the finals now. They just beat England.
That's right. Big upset. So who did they play before that?
Russia, I think.
Yeah, I think we saw that game from a bar there, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the World Cup's been like one of the best in years. We were talking about that on the soccer show, right in recent history.
Yeah. What's crazy about Croatia is I think they've ended up playing in total time like one more match than everyone else because of all the extra time they've been in.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What would you have done if you had gotten your no-lose Belgium-Croatia finals?
Prematurely celebrated. I don't know.
Would you have hedged? Like who had longer odds? Probably Croatia.
I would have made more money on Croatia. Yeah, I put more money in on Belgium, but yeah, I would have made more money on Croatia.
Yeah, there you go. Arif is going to be rich, and we're all buying wings. It's going to be good. Supplemental draft went down.
The money.
Arif just buys Budor. Like, this is mine, boy.
Supplemental draft went down. Some thought that the Vikings may be in. You never put a defensive back by Mike Jerome Zimmer, but the Giant. It was all NFC East affair. Sam Beal went to the Giants in round 3, or as Adam Schefter reported, round X, player X, 2X, blah blah blah. Also, Washington scooped up Adonis Alexander, a name that people had liked out of Virginia Tech in the 6th round.
Also, a name like that's a pretty good name.
Yeah, that's a.
There's Sam on us, something like that, for the Wild. Like I feel like they just swapped his name out.
Or who was the D liner? Wasn't he? Was he a guy from Alabama, like 5-star and then washed out?
Yeah,
that's a shame. Yeah.
so Arkansas State. Yeah.
2 guys taken. Vikings didn't do anything. Should they have been in?
I mean, it's a defensive back, and the Vikings are kind of spoiled for
another
depth.
one.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is so you've got like 4 first-round picks if you count Terrence Newman, and a second-round pick, and or I guess I'm counting the entire secondary. So 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick, and you're pretty excited about this Holton Hill guy.
Yep.
And what do you do with Marcus Sherrills?
Got him.
That's heartless, especially from a Rochester man.
So yeah, it's I think because the only quote unquote draftable guys in the supplemental draft were cornerbacks, and the guy closest to being draftable after that was like a safety. I'm not surprised the Vikings weren't in.
When you wrote a big piece on Mackenzie Alexander asking if he could be a starter, right? Like kind of what his future was.
Yeah.
Was it harder to evaluate given that he's kind of buried on the depth chart?
Not really, if only because he's he was on the field for like 600 snaps or something.
Because of how defense is now. Yeah. I'm just thinking if you picked up a guy in the supplemental draft, it may just be hard to know what you have, given how much depth there is. But
yeah.
Now, say Lyle Collins-esque player coming out of college. Lyle Buck Collins was in the supplemental draft. If you were Rick Spielman, would you have advocated putting in a first-round bid on him?
So if Collins had, instead of entering the draft,
just gone supplemental, or like not even him specifically, just a player of that caliber,
right? Yeah. I would.
Yeah, toss it in because you'd be picking 32 anyway. Skull.
That's a sponsor.
Skull.
I don't know why, but this the saying "skull to the bull" annoys me. I don't know why. It's just like I don't know. I'm in on dad jokes. Like that is something like your dad after 6 Miller Lights would say.
Between you and Brandon, our Twitter, our like collective Twitter is very dad jokey.
Yeah, we're not even old dads.
No, very much not.
Yeah. Just, I am thinking about picking up a pair of those white New Balance shoes, just to work out in, just to be ironic. But
I just
really
want to point this out. Fanny pack.
Yeah,
you're going full Andy right now. You got tank top and short shorts. That's that's full dad mode.
That is how I roll, and not even short shorts, like customized cutoff short shorts. That's all I wear now.
Reef, this isn't our future, is it?
This is disgusting.
No, I'm working with multiple partners in this. Joe Rogan and I are bringing back the fanny pack. Also, Pac-Man Jones, apparently. And then also, me and Stephon Diggs are working on shorts. All right, so we need to talk about Pac-Man Jones. Like, of all the people to fight, you're going to pick Pac-Man Jones.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, maybe the dude thought, he's taller, he's got reach, but like that's not really how this fight was going to go.
Yeah.
So my friend who works at Vegas says that Pac-Man Jones, among a lot of people that he's met who are celebrities who have a high profile, is like the biggest asshole. Like, I wonder if this guy just wasn't even thinking. He's just like, you know what? I've
had it.
I'm going to fight him.
Like it's don't want to victim blame here, but maybe Pac-Man did something, just based on I
like how we're calling Pac-Man the victim.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't even know who Pac-Man was. Maybe he just like, I'm going to fight this dude. This dude's being an ass.
Well, that's
I'm
what
getting
Tom's
it out.
saying, right?
Yeah.
This guy was
It
just
overrides logic.
being like an asshole.
Also, it was very impressive how Pac-Man closed the distance on the guy with the longer reach, like really quick. Like maybe
know
he still has it.
Yeah, we know he's got
Yeah.
recovery speed, right?
Does Pac-Man still have money? Do we know?
It probably depends.
Because I feel like he needs to have kind of like a GTA phase where he's like, I'm going to just license my name to make money back so that you can play as Pac-Man
Well, I mean,
Jones
he's
in
got his
Grand
pro
Theft Auto.
wrestling money.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Probably hasn't spent any of that. And this will probably help things out. Like, hell, Dana White should be like, hey, Pac-Man, you want to put on 40 pounds and fight Brock Lesnar?
Can you imagine? So do you know, because I thought it was Joe Rogan, the winner of UFC called out Lesnar, right, and wanted to fight him. And did you hear about this? And Lesnar shoved him and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's all pro wrestling.
So what if the guy had been like, I want Pac-Man Jones?
Pac-Man would get his ass kicked because did you see those punches? Those were not good.
No.
Those were just wild, like world star hip hop haymakers. But lucky you connected because the guy had such a big head.
He did sink the guy.
Yeah.
But
Gotta give him credit for that.
Pac-Man Jones enters the octagon with a fanny pack. Do you not put money on him?
Yeah, I would feel pretty obligated to at that point.
Can you imagine the inspection? They have to like unzip it.
Yeah. Well, and also, of course, like the lady who was with him was yelling out, Adam, stop, Adam, stop. Of course he didn't stop. That's not his name.
Yeah. He's like, who's Adam? Where's he around?
May as well be yelling like Mike, knock it off. Whatever. So, Pro Football Focus, our friend Dr. Eric Eager, also George, I think he does the podcast with, they broke down the NFC North odds. Now, this is much to the chagrin of the national media, but whatever. They gave the Vikings a 38% chance of repeating as NFC North champions. Packers, interestingly, are tied with the Lions at 23%, and Bears bring up the rear at 16%. Arif, which of these numbers sticks out to you the most?
I guess the Bears at 16 is pretty high.
Yeah, how do they have a 16% chance?
Because what is that? 1 and 8?
Yeah, like what are the dominoes that would need to fall?
It's like 1 and 6. I mean, so another injury to Aaron Rodgers, like a fifth consecutive year, something like that.
Trubisky gets hurt, and then
Jay Clausen,
Then
who's
they
their
call
backup.
Jay Cutler.
yes,
Jay Cutler, who is in a reality show right now, right?
Yeah.
Been very bad. Yeah.
Something Cavalieri, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers gets hurt, which I guess there's no way a 16% chance can get, because I don't think the chances he gets hurt again are as high as 16. But okay, fine. Rodgers gets hurt, and the Vikings regress for whatever reason.
Defensive injuries or something.
Yeah. That still seems pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
A lot has to happen for the Bears to, because, I mean, the Lions are better, the Packers are better, the Vikings, but that's weird.
I think it's interesting that the Lions and the Packers each have an equal shot.
Yeah. That's actually.
What did the Lions? I haven't looked. What have they done to get?
They got Matt Patricia. So if people believe in him.
Well, didn't everyone after the Super Bowl go, yeah, that was bad?
But I mean, they were like 5th in points last year.
People forget, like, early on in the season, they were getting smoked.
Yeah, he did a lot to, like duct tape and MacGyver that defense.
Does he have the personality in Detroit to, like, be good?
I don't know, man.
I assume you just know everything.
He's a rocket scientist, man, not a manager of people.
He is quite literally a rocket scientist. Yeah, I guess.
Well, they got Ragnow, solidifies the interior. They're pretty solid interior anyways. They had Kerryon Johnson, decent running back. Maybe they can finally move on from Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, I mean, if we say, hey, the running game doesn't matter that much, and Kerryon Johnson might be able to move things forward along with Frank Ragnow, you resolve that problem. I don't know that they've resolved the pass rush problem. That secondary is getting older. I mean, I like, obviously Darius Slay is great, and he's not old, but I like their safety. Was it Glover Quinn, right?
Yep.
But he's getting up there, I think. So I don't know. They just don't have a front seven. They don't have a pass rush. They don't have linebackers. So it would all have to be confidence in that offense to improve even more than it already has. And I don't know that there's a ton of room for that. So I would say that the Packers have a lot more room to improve. Obviously because Rodgers is back, but let's assume they've got like the third best offense in the league with Rodgers or something, which I think is a pretty fair assumption. I think that defense has tons of room to improve because they don't have a sheer incompetent at defensive coordinator. They've got Mike Patton, who's never had a below top 10 defense as a coordinator, right? They drafted like 2 cornerbacks and they got a third one back from injury. They've got 3 new cornerbacks, all of whom I'm high on. 2 of which are probably going to turn out to be studs, and 1 might be a bust, right? Who knows which one that'll be. But, they should be happy about that. Mike Patton should be able to unlock HaHa Clinton Dix to be good again. I think there's a lot more room for improvement from the Packers side of things than there is from the Lions side of things, who I think really they should just be kind of slotted into that third place spot.
Are the Vikings too low? 38% of just random trial, it's 13% above what you would get. Still smells like disrespect from the numbers.
It's a strong division. People are calling it. Some people are calling it the strongest division. I think it's probably the NFC South. But
do you see it like people are saying 11 wins for the Vikings, right?
I've seen 10. I've seen 11.
That's your cow herd.
So what do you think if they win the division? Then that's like Packers 9-7, and then how do you see the?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like the Vikings and the Packers tie, and they go to like the third or fourth tiebreaker.
Which would be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. You mentioned the NFC South, but the Vikings were that close to sweeping that division last year. Also, they went 3-1 against NFC playoff teams. What is up? Didn't do great against Philly, but whatever.
That one is pretty important.
Yeah, that one would change things. Although Matt Khalil did hold bar on that play, the 60-yard cam run. Not that I'm bitter. Sendejo still whiffed, but yeah, no, whatever. Taking injuries out of the equation, who has the lowest floor in the division?
The lowest floor, obviously, the Bears.
Oh, sorry, highest floor.
Yeah.
Like
the Vikings are like good at everything. Right?
So where would you put the Lions and Bears? The Lions are like a 7-9 team. You think that's where they end?
Their floor, I think, is like 6 and 10. I mean, who knows? New head coach, right?
And with the Bears?
The Bears are like a 2-win team.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Floor, yeah.
And highest.
Highest,
or what do you think they'll end up?
I mean, there's a 60% chance they could win the division.
Yeah, I suppose.
This might be just ignorance, but I feel like the Lions just have like the best middle.
Yeah, that's why they seem like a 7-9.
They have a low ceiling and a high floor. Like if I could bet on them specifically having 7 to 9 wins, like I'd take that.
Right. I guess the Bears' ceiling is probably around 9 wins.
But you logically think they're going to be 6?
Yeah, 6 or 5.
So you see like the winner being 10-11, loser being 6. That's
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a compacted division. Yeah. So the Lions. So I would say the highest floor probably the Vikings, just because we should be pretty confident that offense is top 10. We should be extremely confident that the defense is like top 3. And so missteps for them, like something kind of going wrong, there are other units that should help account for that. So, I would say the Vikings have that. I mean, now that I've said that, they're going to like get 2 wins or something. But
snap decision right now. You're starting a team from scratch in a vacuum, nothing in place. Which quarterback do you want, Stafford or Cousins?
Stafford?
Cousins was an 82 on Madden. Is that fair?
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
Sorry.
Yeah. Actually, let's get to Madden right now. Sure. So Madden ratings came out, and
Tyrann Mathieu's response had to be the best.
Oh, he had a 92 and was cut?
Yeah, he's like, I got cut, and I'm a 92.
Which is great. So Kirk Cousins coming in at 82. I think he was tied for the 16th highest quarterback rating.
That's a little low.
Yeah, that seemed a little low. But then, the aforementioned Pro Football Focus, Eric Eager, mentioned that, it's about right. I was like, all right, I'm going to go with you.
Sure.
Yeah. Highest for the Vikings, Harrison Smith was a 97, even though he wasn't a Pro Bowler. First ballot Pro Bowler. Yeah. Everson Griffin, 92. Xavier Rhodes, 92. Stephon Diggs, 90. Pay the man. Linval, 90. Yeah. Outpacing Adam Thielen was only at 88. which
Interesting.
I don't know. Kyle Rudolph still up there with the Titans, 86. Dalvin Cook, 85. Sendejo, 85. Bring it on. Awareness, 86. Surprising. Close enough. Strength, 69.
Nice. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Sendejo's strength is lower than Dalvin's. I don't know.
Maybe the Madden guys just haven't seen Sendejo's guns.
Also, Daniil Hunter has a 79 strength. For shame.
Also seems a little low.
For shame. Bring back 2K. That is all.
Can you imagine?
I want to see, like, going down to the bottom here. All right, so Kevin McDermott has the lowest at 51. And it's not even close. So the backup offensive lineman, like Blake Bell has a 62. Cornelius Edison has a 60.
Yeah.
Like, I've been out of practice with Madden, so just to bring the guys down, like, they really, like, lower the awareness. Is that right?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd be a video game guy.
Yeah, I mean, we played Madden like 8 years ago. Now I just don't have time.
I like that Madden has a monopoly, so it's basically just a roster update every year.
Yeah, that's what it is. I mean, they don't have like an incentive to.
I really wish they'd
gameplay.
redo that. I wish you just paid a base price for Madden, and then you just pay like $20.
They would make less money that way.
Yeah, but they make so much on Ultimate Team. Come on, EA.
But I feel like half the when I played Madden a lot, half the fun was updating the roster. Just like, oh, this guy, he's a different number, and he's got better ratings now, and he's on a different team, and I'm changing his face mask.
Do you remember Randy Moss? I think was he 18 in some games when they released, and he had to change it. Yeah,
He was 18 in the preseason, the rookie. It was great. Should have stuck with it, but whatever. Also, all right, so Kirk Cousins was 82 in Madden, and I guess this is the PFF show, but PFF Steve putting this out there, just kind of laying this out there and then just leaving. Lowest graded quarterbacks in red zone over the last 3 years: Jay Cutler, Brock Osweiler, Trevor Siemian, Viking, Sam Bradford, former Viking, and also Kirk Cousins. Arif, what do you make of this?
I think over 3 years, there's probably something there. It's not a very stable way of measuring things. Grade is more stable than like passer rating, but it's still not a very stable way of measuring things. There's a lot that goes into it. You could argue, hey, even when Cousins had a good cast around him, he didn't have a good red zone specific cast. Garcon, Crowder, when he had Jackson, even Jordan Reed is a great tight end, but he's like 6'2". So he might not be like a red zone guy. And when you've got Kyle Rudolph and
he had jump ball Doxson.
For like 3 games. You could argue like with the Vikings, you've got Kyle Rudolph and maybe Stephon Diggs' numbers in the red zone are really phenomenal. He's like 4th in red zone catch rate and like 5th in touchdown percentage or something like that. But for the most part, you would say, maybe those problems will continue based off of the fact that the Vikings probably don't have amazing red zone personnel, unless you count like Laquan Treadwell, I guess. That could be your deal. You could do that if you wanted. I would say over 3 years, there's probably something there, and that he probably will consistently just not be as good in the red zone as he is elsewhere, and that's just something we're going to have to deal with.
Something you should also deal with is quenching that hunger of yours before you unleash the beast. Like it's like Bruce Banner, except when he gets angry. When you get hangry, you become the Hulk. That should be a thing. I'm surprised no one's done that. But anyways, My Burger is the place to be for the best burgers in the Twin Cities since 2004. Made-to-order burgers, homemade, hand-pressed, perfection. Also, they have gluten-free baked buns. They're delicious. You have that option. You got salads, sweet potato fries, got malts, as well as craft beer. Some of the local latest and greatest, because what's better than a burger and a beer? Nothing. Besides 38.7. No, the opposite way. 5 Twin Cities locations: Stadium Village, Richfield, Calhoun, downtown Skyway, as well as St. Paul, Mac, Grove, Len. And also you can order online, myburgerusa.com. Plus, very key, if you become a subscriber at zonecoverage.com, not only will you gain 30 points in your Madden awareness ratings because you are now officially sports woke as well, you will get a gift card for some Buffalo Wild Wings gear, as well as a free burger at My Burger USA. Hit it up. So, myburgerusa.com. Also, subscribe, get a free burger. All right. So, what else do we got here? So, that's Mary. Oh, So, got a little spiel for us called Who's the First? And I'm just going to throw out a bunch of scenarios. Tom, why don't you bring up some music?
All right.
What are we feeling tonight?
You guys tell me.
Icelandic polka?
I always default in my 90s.
Yeah.
My 90s rotation.
Yeah. Get some Smash Mouth.
All right, we'll do that.
Is there a better musical Twitter account than Smash Mouth?
I can't think of one. It's amazing. I love how much they fight with San Diego sports.
It's the lead singer working it, right?
I hope so.
He seems a little hot and heavy. Like, he seems like Guy Fieri's angry brother.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Like, he's not taking you to Flavortown. He's trying to own you town. But whatever. All right, so who's the first? Who is the first holdout to show up to training camp? Lev Bell, Julio, or OBJ?
I have to say Julio. I think the Falcons are the most likely to respect his needs and wishes.
Does Julio have a fair point on his compensation?
He's got a decent point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an egregious problem. But I mean, he's kind of right. He should be paid like the best receiver, and he's not.
Like, if I'm Julio, I'm in my negotiations. I'm like, I got my agent next to me, and I'm just holding up a picture of Devontae Adams, like a Glamour Shots photo in a nice mahogany frame. And every time, Dimitrov or Blank's probably not in those meetings, but every time Dimitrov brings a point up, I just hold up the picture. No big deal. No reason why I should be making less than that jabroni, but whatever. Who's the first head coach to be fired?
Man. Gruden. No.
That'd be amazing.
Just right off the sunset.
They don't even get to Vegas before he's out.
Well, who's on the hot seat?
Dirk Cutter?
I guess.
Someone tells me I don't think Hugh gets fired in season, even if they're terrible.
Is it Dirk Cutter's fault, or is it Tampa Bay's?
Nah, let's go with Dirk Cutter's fault. No, I'll say Hugh. I'll say Hugh.
I mean, isn't their fault for
he's like 1 in 32. How did he not already get fired?
Can you imagine? What if he coaches for 15 years and he's just he's Teflon?
He's like an anti-Marvin Lewis. Does not make the playoffs ever.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta look this up because it's above me. Because Tom Landry, in his first couple seasons with the Cowboys, when they're a de facto expansion team for a while there, and he started off 0-11-1, and then his next season was 4-9-1. So I guess it wasn't as bad. But going winless your first season.
Yeah, I was challenged on this too. I was like, you should not judge coaches on their first 2 seasons. This looks bad. It's fine. Judge him on his 3rd season. And someone was like, name a coach with 2 or fewer wins in their first 2 seasons that turned into anything. And I looked it up. There are a bunch of coaches that did really poorly in their first or second or both seasons, but nobody as bad as 2 total wins. Yeah. So that might be it.
Yeah. Mike Zimmer 7-9. Fire him. Bring in Bevel. Yeah. Next up, who's the first rookie to start? Darnold, Jackson, Rosen, Baker, or Josh Allen?
Rosen, because Bradford's going to get hurt.
What week?
3.
Preseason 2.
Do any of these guys start week 1?
Okay, so I've got Darnold, Rosen, Jackson,
Josh Allen.
Allen doesn't even have competition. He has A.J. McCarron.
Well, if the shady stuff is true, just throw Josh Allen out there. Screw it. You're not going to win. Just at least give him some reps. Hopefully he doesn't David Carr it.
Yeah, I would say I'm going to go with Rosen.
What's your take on the shady stuff?
I mean, let the process play out. It seems like he probably did it.
Yeah. It seems a little bit too convenient for his side of the story, where it's like, hey, I want this jewelry back. Hey, the guy broke in, specifically asked for that jewelry. Okay.
Right.
Isn't this a little OJ-esque?
Except it doesn't sound like he was the person who did the deed, but he was definitely tied to the person who did the deed.
Right. So OJ-esque, right?
It's more like a Caruthian.
Oh,
that's
okay. Yeah. Okay.
God,
but that's still horrible. Like, and also, like friend of the program, John Bouchard, who's deep in the Philly media. He's one of the hashtag good ones. He brought up a good point. It's like, if this shocks you about Shady's behavior, like you haven't been paying attention. Like,
Really?
I guess so.
because we
Like,
were talking
he
about
would
this
know-
earlier, and I was like, did he have any?
Right. Yeah, we were talking about this
Yeah.
earlier. From what I understand, the only kind of like off-field thing I can remember is the weird Instagram invite for a party where he was like, "Women only 21 plus.
Yeah.
DM me for like party."
And the only
details."
issue the NFL
Yeah.
had is like, hey, you use the Bills logo.
And to be fair, women over 21 were like not a Bills party.
But I mean, like the scuttlebutt we hear about the team in our local market, like that doesn't get out to other markets. So that
Right,
doesn't
and
trigger.
Burchard's an Eagles guy, where Shady was for a while. So, yeah, I guess it's weird, right? Because like Deshaun Jackson was the one that got dragged for having gang ties.
He's flashing gang signs after games. Like, yeah, whatever. He can still take the top off defense. Don't care.
Yeah, right.
Next up, and now he's getting overpaid in Tampa, so maybe that's what gets Dirk fired. But yeah, who's the first running back over 1,000 yards rushing this season?
First running back
First.
over 1,000 yards rushing.
Yeah, not total rushing,
Zeke.
because Zeke's hungry.
Right, he's not suspended, right? I didn't screw that up.
I don't even know.
Let me look.
That's a good looking question.
I'm just making sure. I don't think I heard anything, but like,
It's okay. Yeah.
I kind of have a weird feeling that Sherman is going to ride Saquon like a freaking pony.
yeah, he probably will.
Yeah, like young back, number 2 overall pick. You don't want Eli to throw, and just go. Yeah. Next up, who's the first player to have 3 receiving touchdowns in a game? So not Julio.
First player to have 3 receiving touchdowns in a game.
Yeah.
A fun answer would be Will Fuller.
So I'm
3 catches.
I'm assuming Elliott is not suspended because literally there's a blog post that says Ezekiel Elliott's quiet offseason is exactly what the Cowboys needed.
Man, AJ would be fun and out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Actually, let's go with Saquon.
It's 3 receivers. You know it's going to be someone stupid. Like, it'll be Antonio Gates. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm over. I padded that number enough. Who's the first team to have a national anthem controversy?
Seahawks.
Although, yeah,
What week?
1.
Yeah, that's probably right.
it's Pete Carroll. They're like Pete. Come
And
on.
Pete's like, yeah, I'm getting out of here before sanctions come down. Deuces. Arkansas State job open? Sweet.
I missed out on D-liner? Dang.
Who's the first starting quarterback to be benched not in favor of a first-round rookie?
Oh, man, AJ McCarron would have been easy.
Yeah.
Derek Carr would be funny.
Who's the backup in Cincy now?
Probably no one interesting. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know. Who are the... I guess you could say... Nope. Tyrod's backed up by first-round pick.
Yeah. Bengals backups are Jeff Driscoll and Matt Barkley.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind.
Yeah.
Josh McCown, but not for Darnold.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. We'll just leave that there. Who's the first Vikings receiver to have over five touchdowns this season? So you include tight ends too.
I'll go with Stephon Diggs.
Ooh.
Well, he had like 8 last year. That's not enormous.
Andy wants to cut. Just kidding.
No, trade. I'm all about trade. I'm all about getting value.
Yeah.
Yeah, cutting's a waste.
Yeah. Next up, first Vikings rookie to log 200 snaps.
Pat Elflein. Get it? Because he snaps the ball.
Yeah.
First rookie. Well, not Mike Hughes, not Brian O'Neill. God, that's tough. Not Jalen Holmes.
Hopefully not Jalen Holmes.
Dang, who do we have?
That's a good-looking question.
Colby Gossett. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Gossett does grab a starting
That's
spot.
a good draft, though, because
Yeah.
you would have said Beavers a few years ago, right? Like that.
All right, so besides Holmes, you got Tyler Conklin, you got Daniel Carlson, who's just a kicker, Aude Aruna, Devontae Downs, Holton Hill, not Herc anymore.
Jesus, I don't know if anybody's going to log 200 snaps. I'll go with Mike Hughes.
Mike Hughes, bring it on. Yeah, the guy because probably going to work the slot, probably going to special teams there. He'll get it. Who's the first Vikings defender with a pick six?
Rhodes.
God, I want to say Linval. Just because, like the Bears are, the Niners are backed up at the 1. Garoppolo gets a ball tipped, and Linval just absorbs it, rolls in. Who's the first Viking to get a target? Caleb Jones or Brian O'Neill?
Caleb Jones.
Even with the 4-game suspendee.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Lambeau week 2, John DiFilippo was like, hey, Mike, hey, Patton. I know that we were tight back in the day. We worked with each other. It's cool. I got something for you. Big 75 coming right at your ass. Maybe not. Two more. Who's the first who's the first NFC? Try this again. Who's the first offensive coordinator to have an NFC Offensive Player of the Week? DiFilippo or Norv?
DiFilippo.
Who's it going to be?
Dalvin.
Not Cam?
Well, you just said which OC was going to have, so I had to name a Vikings player, right?
No, which OC is going to have their first NFC Offensive Player of the Week? Norv with the Panthers or DiFilippo with the Vikings?
Right, so I had to pick a Viking.
Yeah.
Why'd you say not Cam?
Oh, you don't believe in Cam?
I mean, who's he throwing to besides DJ Moore?
It's going to be Jarius Wright.
What do you know about routes?
Who has more fantasy points this year, Treadwell or Jarius Wright?
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Jarius Wright.
So delicious. Love it. So good. Last one. Who's the first player Zimmer throws under the bus in a presser?
Tishon Bauer.
I was going to ask what week, except we know it's probably going to be during camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, that was good. Let's see. Tom, what's going on with the site?
We got Dane in Las Vegas, as we kind of alluded to. He has a really good thing on Jop and Okogie, how they fit in with the team and how their defense is looking. Brandon and I have been at the Twins game. I looked at kind of Molitor embracing the shift. Brandon has a really good job, does a good job of breaking down the game into kind of bite-sized pieces, just important happenings, things to keep your eye on.
Well, he's a dad. He's used to cutting up food into very small pieces.
Yeah, exactly. Mitch Hansen's done a good job with the links. But yeah, kind of anything. I also look at Brandon gets a haircut. This is something that you cut up, right? A video that you cut up. We spent about 45 minutes with Andy Fade, who is cuts the hair of the Twins players. Most of those guys have really great hair, and it's a lot of that's him. And Brandon, I didn't realize how much hair gel Brandon uses because, it kind of stands on his head. And so he went from kind of no hair gel. He looked so crazy hair to a really cool do that he's still rocking. And yeah, you should check that out and kind of get to know this guy, I guess, through the video.
Who do you think has used hair gel more recently, me or Reef?
Reef and his beard.
Oh, sneaky answer.
That's because I don't know how that would look.
I haven't used hair gel since 2006.
I was gonna say I don't think I've used it since I was a kid, which might have been 06.
What, you're trying to pick up chicks in 4th grade with your frosted tips?
Yeah, baby.
I've used a hair product that's not quite a gel more recently than 2006.
Like the paste?
Yeah.
You just need your thumb and you rub it.
Dane was rocking that in Vegas. I'm
Did you
throwing
melt?
Dane a little bit, probably.
Because since 2006, I have paid $7.99 for a haircut total. Because I just bought a clipper.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. Because I used to pay like $20 for a haircut like a dummy. It's like, no.
The buzz cut fanny pack
Yeah.
short shirt combination can't be beat.
And I need to do the high and tight. So you look like the dad is like, I don't know. Was he Marine back in the day? I don't know. He looks tough. He likes when people call him Sarge. No.
What if you try to enforce that? Like everyone had to call you Sarge.
No, that's borderline stolen valor. I don't like that. Have you ever seen those videos where like the vets or like the current service guys confront the stolen valor dudes?
No.
No.
It's legit
amazing.
great. Like these guys, they clearly have like a mental illness because they're in Marine Class A dress and they have like a Navy SEAL trident. They're wearing a Ranger beret, and it's just like,
Wait,
yeah.
really?
Oh yeah.
There was a guy there was a huge like Atlantic feature on him who used to scam women claiming that he was like an ex-vet.
Yeah.
And that was one of his.
Because women love animals. Oh my God, how many ponies did you work on?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that is all. What was your favorite place that you ate at in Vegas?
That's a good question.
Or just go to Chipotle every day?
No. In-N-Out was there. I know that's a chain, but I enjoyed that. I'm trying to remember where we had breakfast. It's literally right across from O'Sherry's. But yeah, the food there, quite pricey, however, very very delicious. It's actually a good place, like for someone like Dane who's credentialed and has something to do there. It's cool. I mean, it is 117 degrees out, but he's there while the World Series of Poker's there. UFC just had a whole bunch of fights there. You have Summer League and all the media there. Like the Ringer sent like 60 people, and you have all this good food and like a sweet nightlife every night.
Oh yeah! Shout out to Daniel Cormier for bringing back the dad bod.
Yeah, baby. He's like 39.
Oh, he's old. He looks like he's out of shape, but he is not. Former wrestler and like arguably the best fighter in mixed MMA history.
Did you say that's going to be what's his name second career? Completely
Pac-Man.
It could be Pac-Man. So on the Vikings, Everson Griffin.
Who would be the best fighter?
You could see Vikings. Everson with the swag, like he for sure.
I could see Everson with it. None of the offensive linemen, they're all probably too big. Well, except for Elfline, right?
Yeah. He is a little bit more agile than you give him credit for. So he could probably do some things as a heavyweight.
Yeah. I mean, plus he has a wrestling background. That's got to help.
But is Everson your number one? If you had to say here's what he's going to do.
Everson looks the part.
Yeah,
but
and talks the part.
As we've seen, like guys who look the part don't always pan out.
Yeah, none of us picked Daniil, for example.
It also seems like the worst thing to do after football. Like in terms of, there's no way it's good for your head.
Well, don't get hit.
Right?
Yeah.
Dummy.
Actually, Daniil, with the length of his legs, if he did Muay Thai for like 3 years, okay.
Couldn't he also really cut weight? Like he could be in a way smaller division.
Yeah. That's finally the thing. Like cut body fat, Daniil. Fatty.
Right.
Yeah, fatty.
No, I'm just thinking how incredible those guys are thin.
Yeah,
like
measurables wise, if Daniil dropped a little bit of weight, he'd probably be similar to John Bones Jones, without the roids, without the weird kilt thing too. Yeah, but that's all. Let's hour two. Didn't even mention that Luke and Nick are in here. They'll be here hour two.
What do you think?
Shows available iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, zonecoverage.com/machine. But for Arif and Tom and Manny, saying, and sign out, bye-bye. Let's hour two.